Preparing for spring is my favorite way of pretending like winter is nearly over. We've had a false spring here in Denver, Colorado, and it's helped to lift those winter blues a little. This year has been particularly hard for me. I felt homesick and lonely, and all the worries I have about the future definitely were all bubbling up at the same time. I've taken a little bit of time every morning to make a hot drink and do a little stretching, because if the future is going to be a little tough, then I may as well make it easier on my body at least. This year, I've decided to throw myself back into the garden and truly experiment with growing lots of different things. Flowers for my mental health and appreciation of how beautiful the natural world is, and lots of different vegetables and herbs to at least try and protect us against the rising prices of food. I'm doing a low buy year, so I'll be using the things we already have, like garden bags and raised beds. The only things I'll be buying are a few packets of seeds and some compost. I'll be shopping my closet for spring and summer clothes, and I have quite a few projects on the go for chillier nights and for gifts for those in my life who are starting their own families. Spring is my favourite time of year. It signals an end to the cold, harsh winter and the start of new life, and for me, a renewed sense of optimism and happiness. We can always tell when spring is truly on its way, because the finches, chickadees and flickers return to our garden in search of food. It's a beautiful sound to wake up to in the morning and genuinely fills me with hope and contentment. Hey, my name is Immy. If you're new here, I make a lot of content about sustainability, slow living, learning new hobbies like knitting, crochet, sewing, and so many more. And of course, I make a bunch of content on food. So if that's up your street, consider subscribing if you want to, and make sure to give the video a like if you did like it. Today we'll be planting seeds, doing a little bit of meal prep, and preparing for spring by finishing off some winter projects. When it comes to jewelry, I am very much a silver girl, minimalist, just a few really nice and just kind of like simple pieces. I've been looking for a necklace like this for a really long time because I usually wear two necklaces, but I wanted a third one that stacks really nicely in between. Unfortunately, the other one that I usually wear, my sister-in-law's greyhound got it caught in her mouth as she got very excited, so I'm gonna fix that today. But this middle one is from Linja, a Norwegian sustainable jewelry brand, and they are very kindly sponsoring this portion of today's video. Whenever I'm looking for pieces, which is very infrequently, when I find something I love, I am stuck with it forever. But I'm always looking for sustainable, ethical, if they use recycled materials. And with Linja, I very much like the sort of minimalist designs because they just go seamlessly with all the other things that I wear. You can see that my daily earrings are all very, very plain and very simple. So it's nice to have something that has a little bit more something to it, but it's still not overwhelming. One of the reasons why their sustainable jewelry is more affordable is because they sell directly to customers and cut out all those sort of middle costs. They also use recycled materials where possible, which I love, including pieces that have 100% recycled gold and silver. I recently went down a TikTok rabbit hole, which I somehow managed to get onto mining talk, where I saw essentially how diamonds are mined, and honestly it was quite horrifying. One thing that I really like about Linja is that they use lab-grown diamonds, so they're conflict-free and you don't need to worry about them being ethically sourced. All of their pieces and their production are very thoughtful, all the way down to their packaging, which is recycled and sustainable. If you're not a silver girl like me, they also have gold vermeil, where they use a sterling silver base and then they put a thick layer of gold on top, so you get that gold but at a more affordable price. I honestly love these pieces so much. This necklace is one that I truly have been looking for about a year and a half, maybe even 2 years. And because I'm very mindful about the pieces that I choose, because I tend to wear the same things every single day, I really took my time to make sure that I found exactly what I wanted. If you have a birthday coming up or you wanted to gift yourself something and you've been looking for a really long time to find a good sustainable piece of jewelry, then you can use my discount code IMMYLUCAS and this will get you a special offer. As always, be mindful about what you're consuming, and if a piece of jewelry has been on your list for a long time, then consider checking out Linja in the description below. I'm so excited to share with you that I have finally finished my first cable knit and moss stitch cardigan. This is the Siri cardigan by Knit, and I have been making this for probably about 4 months now. This project has taken me the longest because I found it very challenging, and honestly when I finished it last night I was in pure shock that I had actually managed to do it. I started this project back in October, but I found it very hard, so I ended up putting it to the side. Then I unraveled the whole thing and started again, and then I really dug my teeth into it in about December, and I have been working on it ever since. So it's not blocked, but this is what, let me put it on to give you a better idea of what it looks like. I also accidentally only made one buttonhole. So we're just gonna sew one button onto it, or I might sew the rest, but they're just kind of for style and a bit redundant. As you can see, the sleeves are a bit short and the whole cardigan itself is quite short. So we're gonna block it now, and then in a few days it's gonna be hopefully really nice and long and drapey. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna measure the arms now and then measure the length that I want it to be, so that when I block it and lay it out, that I can pin it to exactly the length that I want it to be, because I often pin them to be too short. Super exciting. So let's block this, and then I'm finally gonna start a interactive crochet baby book because everyone seems to be pregnant right now. So we're gonna finally get started on that project, which again, I meant to start a few months ago. I used to be pretty lazy about blocking, but it makes such a huge difference, especially when you do it right. And it is the surefire way to make everything look really nice and get everything the length that you actually want it to be. After I pinned down my cardigan, I just finished off these baked oats that I had made. I actually made the recipe for these in my previous meal prep video, which I'll leave down below if you want to check out, but they're kind of a tiramisu inspired baked oats. They're so good for meal prep, especially for someone like me who struggles to eat breakfast because I can't be bothered to make something every morning. So having something like this is super helpful. I decided to do some baking because I'm trying to use up a lot of the ingredients that we have in our cupboards, especially for the coming spring. So I just made some bagels and I decided to do a little bit of experimenting with them. I've made plain bagels, I've made everything bagels, and today I wanted to make a kind of cheddar and jalapeno. So I just made the bagels as I usually would, and then I sliced some pieces of jalapenos really nice and thin. And then I made sure to cover them in some olive oil because otherwise they would burn. And then I just topped them off with some cheese. I used Violife, but you can use whatever you want. Bagels are surprisingly easy to make, especially if you're just using active dry yeast. My sourdough starter has been a little temperamental recently, which is why I've opted to go for these dry active yeast ones instead of sourdough. But as it gets a little bit warmer, my sourdough is definitely a lot more cooperative. I will be definitely making some more sourdough bagels soon. I always have high hopes when I am trying something new or experimenting with different flavors, but honestly, I couldn't have anticipated how well these were going to turn out. The jalapenos were cooked perfectly and the cheese melted and had a little bit of crispiness on top, which is just perfection. These are definitely best served warm after you've allowed them to cool down for maybe 10-15 minutes. But these are such a quick recipe that you could make them for a brunch on a Saturday morning if you wanted to. I have a little box of seeds, and these are seeds that I plant pretty much every year since I moved here. We still have a bunch of ones left, like basil and cosmos and tomatillos and things like that. But I have actually run out of tomatoes, and tomatoes are something that do really well here in Denver if you start them early. So tomatoes and peppers do really well, or chilies, if you plant them out much later, once they're a bit more established. I've always had much better yields when I do it that way. I also follow Homesteading Denver on Instagram, and they do a similar thing, and they have been very successful growing in Denver. So I'm going to head to a local gardening store just to get some soil for planting the seeds and then some tomato seeds, but that's it. I have everything else I need. I'm doing a low buy year this year, so I'm not buying any gardening tools or anything like that. And I just love being in garden centres, honestly. I just can't wait to go. It's really hard for me not to get overexcited when I go to garden centres like this, because I love to see all the different seeds that are available, and there were so many more that I could have bought, but I just tried to stick to what I truly feel like I had space for. I definitely bought a few that were experimental and exciting, and then some that I knew I would absolutely love. Like, I love sun golds. I bought 2 established plants last year and planted them, and we got so many tomatoes from them. I was quite surprised at how expensive these seeds were, so I decided to plant all of them and just tried to get as much out of them as possible. They've actually already started coming up, which is really exciting. There is nothing I love more than seeing little plants grow and then eventually produce fruit. It is so satisfying, and honestly it is one of my favourite hobbies that I have picked up over the last 4 or 5 years. I truly think that this is my best work because I finally managed to get to the sleeves to be exactly the length that I wanted them to be, which is surprisingly tricky. And I also love the length that this has turned out. I didn't want it to be too long, but I didn't want it to be too short. I feel like it's perfect. I'm so happy with it. I also feel like it's a bit more, not formal, but like it makes the whole jeans and a white t-shirt just a little bit smarter. I'm so happy with this. I am so happy with this. Let me know what you think. Okay, I think it's finally time to start the little baby book that I was talking about. So I'll get out all the materials that I need and I will show you everything you need to know about it. I discovered this pattern on, I think, Instagram, maybe back in September, and I ordered a kit for it so that I didn't have to think about what I needed, because crochet is something that it doesn't come easily to me. I find it much easier to think about how much yarn I need when it comes to knitting. So I had this, and I actually had it delivered to my parents' house when I was there in October. And because I find crochet harder to wrap my head around, I've been putting off making this for so long. This is fairly slow going because I haven't crocheted in a while, but I've done basically the first page. And now I'm just doing the border where you can connect the other pages. I also broke my crochet hook, so I had to get another one. I don't know how I did that, but that's where we're at so far. It's gonna take me a while. After a lot of tutorials, a lot of practice, breaking one of my hooks, I finally got into a kind of rhythm with it and started to see exactly what it was gonna look like. And I even learned how to do intarsia, I think that's how it's called, which is a type of color work using crochet. I'd never used a hook that was this small, or even actually knitting needles, because I used a 2mm. But I was very grateful for the experience that I've had making quite a few hats recently where I used a 3mm knitting needle. So it kind of helped me to get my head around, or my fingers around, understanding how to use such a tiny hook. It did take a while, but I definitely started to enjoy the process a lot more once it became less of a battle of trying to pull the yarn through really hard. I put this down for a little bit and decided it was time to repot some of my plants. I have definitely had quite a few of these sitting in water waiting for them to grow roots for a long time, but there's one that has been in there for far too long. So I decided to repot a couple of my plants because spring is the time that they really start to grow again, and I want to give them the best opportunity. I then moved on to doing some meal prep, and I was just using all the ingredients that I had in the cupboards. Like, we had some white beans, so I thought I would make a white bean dip. And I also wanted to experiment with a recipe I saw in a recent video by Sarah's Vegan Kitchen. She made some silken tofu chocolate mousse pots, and I just thought that these looked really delicious, and I thought it'd be a great way to get some extra protein into my diet. So I just threw everything in a blender, exactly how she said. I don't have a microwave, so I just double boiled the chocolate, poured this all in and put it into separate pots for little desserts that we could have throughout the week. I then moved on to making a herby rice. This is one of my favorite things to make as like an accompaniment to pretty much anything, honestly. And this is pretty simple. I just cook some rice and then I chop up a bunch of herbs like parsley and coriander, and then some nuts. I like to use pistachio nuts whenever I have them, but honestly they're pretty expensive, so that's not very often. So this was definitely a treat. I add some green olives, some red pepper flakes, some za'atar, and some salt, and give that a really good mix. I like to have this with the white bean dip that I'm just about to make, and also some marinated broiled tofu. The white bean dip is something I've made in one of my previous meal preps before. It's a recipe by Ottolenghi from his book Flavor. It's pretty straightforward. For this, I actually decided to ignore half of the instructions, and instead of making a kind of aioli and then putting it on top of the white beans, I just put all the ingredients in a food processor after cooking the herbs and the garlic in the oil, turned that into a kind of creamy dip, and then topped it with the beans that we put aside with some of the olive oil, lemon, fresh dill, and salt. And then I just topped that with some chili flakes. This is one of my favorite dips, and it's perfect if you add it to salads, or if you just have it with some sourdough or a bagel or any other kind of bread or breadsticks. It just adds a lot of flavor as well as some protein and just a really nice different texture. And then lastly, I just prepared some tofu to make a tofu tikka masala. We had some cold weather come through and we wanted to use that as an opportunity to just have a kind of warm, hearty meal with a lot of the ingredients that we already have. I prepared this marinade, and later my husband made this for us for dinner. The next day I really wanted to have some of the beans with my rice, so I just marinated a bit of tofu very quickly with some lemon, olive oil, salt, mustard, and just broiled it in the oven. I added that to my rice and my beans and had that for lunch. I took a little bit of a break from the baby book because crochet, I'm finding it challenging after having not done it for a while, but that baby is coming in like 6 weeks now, so I have to get a move on, try and get that done. I'm also trying to finish any winter projects that I had been working on. I got a couple of kits for Christmas, like this jumper that I've been working on. It will probably still be good to wear in the cooler nights, but not for that much longer, maybe another 6 weeks or 2 months. And then this will go in the cupboard waiting for autumn this year. But I have 2 more projects that I'm working on that are kind of winter projects rather than spring. And once I finish those and I finish this baby book, I'll be moving on to kind of lighter projects for spring. There are a bunch of really fun looking patterns that I've seen people make for like summer tops and spring tops and things like that. I've been trying to do a lot of research into other kind of lighter materials. I use cotton a lot, but for summer you can actually get mixes between linen and cotton, and then also tencel and cotton. So I might find a couple of patterns, not too many because I'm still trying to do this in a sustainable way and not, you know, over consume, and then make a couple of tops maybe from a linen mix because the summers here in Colorado are extremely hot, and I'm also visiting my family in France again this year and it's extremely hot there as well, so having a lighter linen material I think would work really well. I've done some meal prep, I've prepped my seeds, I've repotted my plants. I'm working on finishing my winter projects before spring truly arrives. And I think I might do some clearing of the garden today because things are just starting to come up for spring, like the tulips in the garden and stuff like that. So I want to clear away any of the kind of dead things that are just, you know, getting in the way. Obviously I'm not going to dig anything up, we're just chopping off the top, leaving everything in the ground intact. And maybe I'll prepare a couple of the bags and the beds for planting. I also have some seed garlic that my husband's mum gave us from Michigan for last year, from Petoskey, so I might plant those as well because I've already seen a garlic. I think I planted it last year. It's coming up now, so garlic is very winter hardy. I should have probably planted these in the autumn, but it's never too late to give something a go. I'm putting a lot of effort into the garden this year because food prices are going up quite dramatically, and I just want to try and see if I can grow as much food as possible here, especially when we're thinking about things that are more expensive, like fresh foods, tomatoes, cucumbers, things that I eat a lot. I'm just going to try my best to really take care of those and put a lot of effort into growing a lot of things. I did quite a bit of clearing of the garden and moving things around and just assessing how much space that we have and how many bags. I actually have quite a few bags in a different box that I'd never even used last year or the year before. So I know that I have those, and all I would need to get is some extra soil if I don't have enough bags prepared for just how many seeds I have actually planted so far this year. I've always had great success when just really experimenting and just going all out, even if it's a bit chaotic, because this is also supposed to be fun as well as practical, and it's really nice to see the garden come together like this. I can't really do much more with the garden because it is too cold to start like truly preparing, but I'm definitely going to plant some potatoes again this year. Potatoes did really well when I didn't neglect them. And I also put them in a spot that was far too sunny for them. So that's why I have kind of put a bunch of bags on the other side of the house. That side gets a good amount of sun, but then also in the afternoon it gets a good amount of shade. So it's better for those plants that don't like to be absolutely blasted by the Denver sun. I'm really looking forward to seeing if I'm able to grow corn. I'm going to do a lot of research first because I really don't want to waste any of those seeds or the space or resources, especially this year. But apart from that, I'm really looking forward to spring. Spring is so beautiful in Denver because everyone just fills their front gardens with different flowers that are seasonal. So when you go on your daily walks, you see when the irises come out and the tulips and the daffodils, and then, you know, when the cosmos come out and the sunflowers, and that's a kind of sure sign that you're moving from spring into summer when those like cosmos and the sunflowers like really start to shoot up and just become so abundant. Okay. Thank you so much for watching today's video, and sorry it's been a couple of weeks. I've been having just a very difficult time with my mental health because of just a lot of things colliding. But I have a low buy update for next week. I also have a meal prep and what I eat in a week coming. If there's any other content you want to see, please let me know in the comments below. Okay, I hope you've had a wonderful week and you're having a lovely Sunday, and I'll see you next week. Okay.